Here we go!
Get that last no-scope kill and hit pause. It's time for the video game podcast where the Konami code is alive and well. The console wars don't exist. Rings are just as valuable as coins. Pots are not safe from swords. Giant robots kick ass. And fireballs are a perfectly acceptable weapon in a fist fight. That's right. It's time for the Super Gamer Bros podcast, Ultra Hyper Alpha Super EX Double Impact Plus A Live. Settle in and let's get to gaming.
Posted again. Hey everyone, welcome to Super Gamer Bros. I'm one of your hosts, Slayton, and we're waiting for Sim to show up, so we decided to go ahead and start the show. I am joined by...
I'm Pocky.
Yeah, we've been having a good time. I have been gone for a couple episodes because I've been dealing with some other things. I had a death in the family, and it's just been a month of craziness. Never fun when that happens. But anyways, welcome to this
coronavirus happened. Now we have vampire ashes from the Sahara coming over for the other.
Yeah, so we're a little later today because if you guys were watching, we did a very special episode called Where We Go From Here about how Black Lives Matter and the social movement that's happening is affecting media and pop culture, and it was absolutely amazing. Like, I was so excited to do it. Pocky watched some. It was.
Yeah, unfortunately, I had my little bit of family drama. We're apparently suing somebody now. I don't know.
So it was a good deal of fun to do that, and I was like, there's a couple. Two big news stories to really talk about this week, so we don't want to delay Super Gamer Bros. So like I said, Cedric will join us when he's free. We were planning on not doing the show because of that, because literally it takes me so much effort to do a live show, especially something new that I thought I'd be drained, but I was like, nope, let's do this. So welcome to Super Gamer Bros.
Super Gamer Bros. We got our Super Gamer Bro gaming.
Put your chest down, Super Gamer Bros. Like, come on, like fighting game styles, like I like to call it. So anyways, it's been an interesting week, but like we like to do, let's get caught up with our gamers. Pocky, how have you been this week? What have you been playing?
What have I been playing?
If you say Persona 5 or 4 or 16, I'm just gonna fucking stab you with this key knife.
So I've been streaming a lot, actually. I've been working on that big project we have coming up in the works, and so I haven't actually been playing video games, and the only few video games I've actually been playing has been on the stream. So yes, I've been playing Persona 4 Golden, and unfortunately I got to the black mark. So
you like the what pirates get that go like, yeah, they got like the clams Pirates of the Caribbean.
Well, so one of the characters in the Cynic is now here.
There's Cynic.
Yeah, thank you.
So
you
what
guys gotta talk about that real quick. I gotta take this phone call. So Stanek, we're talking about what we've been playing this week.
Very cool. All right. Hey, sorry for being late.
That's fine. Apparently, I can't have both of you here.
Well, if we didn't want any interruptions for the little one, I put her down tonight, and it's been a long day. So I passed out with her, and with bottle in hand and mouth, and we're both sleeping.
Wait,
and
the bottle was in your mouth?
Bottle is in her mouth, but I should consider one. It's very relaxing, apparently. Even on the fussiest of days. I woke up to a text message and went, "Oh yeah, late show today."
Yes, it's our late show.
Yes.
I was a teenage werewolf blob from outer space edition of the show. So yeah, we were just starting with the obligatory. What have we been playing? I haven't really been playing a lot because we've been working on a project. So really, the only game I've been playing is on stream, which is Persona 4, which actually that's technically a lie. I started playing another one. But I unfortunately was telling Gavin I got to the black mark of Atlas, which is what I call it. And it's one of the characters is bisexual.
Mm-hmm.
And he is dealing with, it's a high school student, right? He's the first year. So he's dealing with these emotions, these feelings, and they turn it into a gag, and then they tell the voice actors not to make him sound gay, and then they try to edit the text. There's dialogue in Japan that makes it sound better, and
did they just not handle it too well, or is it just handled perfectly and it's represented very awkwardly?
No, it's represented horribly. It's treated more of as a gag. He's a biker. He beats up biker gangs to deal with his sexual.
Are they biker mice from Mars gangs?
We wish that would be a different game. But yeah, basically, that's the black mark. And there's another one showing up later, and we'll get into that. But I don't want to get into it. Someone's watching my stream.
Okay, Stenny,
Gotcha.
I missed you. Hi, I missed you.
Hi, Gavin. We've missed you.
Sorry, I
So-
thought we weren't going to do a show, but then I'm
Yeah,
like,
look-
there's too many things to really not talk about.
No, you're fine. I'll tell you the story later. Long story short, I fell asleep while I was putting the baby to sleep, and I woke up to your text. So that was fun.
So I called you. Like, he's not picking up, so I'm wondering if he's just. We'll just start the show and he'll show up. That's
Nope.
what
Yeah, I was out cold.
Starting the show is like the Bat Beacon. It just shows up in his room. He goes, it's like Batman Returns. It's the cover. It happened.
Exactly.
All right,
You are the
Yeah,
Michael Keaton
exactly.
of this
So
game.
I'm glad I could make it.
So what have you?
Because I know you texted me about it just the other day. What have I been doing? I have. I had a family member, cousin, who is awesome, but she's a big gamer on the Switch, and I rarely ever play the Switch. So she finally said, "Hey, have you ever played Overwatch? It's $20 on the Switch right now." And I was like,
you went down that.
I was like, why not? And I didn't know, I completely kind of passed over the whole Overwatch thing. I know it came out forever ago and has received many updates, and it smashed that one game completely. I can't remember. There were two games that came out at the same time, and I can't even remember what it was called because Overwatch obliterated it. So I'll have to look that up. So Overwatch has been a big one. I played one game with them. I was like, okay. And I was like, okay, well, next time I play with them, I can't suck because it's her and a friend. So I said, I can't be bad at this. So all week I have been playing Overwatch, and it's been a fun experience. If you've never played it, it's a first person shooter, but it's basically a MOBA first person shooter. There's tons of characters, lots of different abilities to have to learn. And so it's been fun trying to kind of get to know characters. And I totally butchered the name of one of the characters I was playing with last time, by the way. I said I was playing with Phazon or something like that. No, I believe her name is Sombra. She's the Russian. Yes, the invisible hacker chick who disables your abilities and walks around invisible. So she was very cool to get to know. I've since kind of latched onto a healer named Moira, and Moira has kind of become awesome. She's very noob friendly, so that's been fun to kind of start out with. So Overwatch has been the real big one. Second one I think is probably Yakuza Kiwami, which is astounding that it runs on the exact same engine as Yakuza 0, and literally the city of Kamurocho does not change. And he has to explain that, oh man, things have changed a lot in the past 10 years since this game takes place 10 years later. And I'm like, no, these are the same assets, literally. So
thanks, I guess, for recycling. At least you're recycling.
Exactly. There's been a few aesthetic changes, but not too many. I'm literally walking down an alleyway, and I'm going back and to the same areas where I would do missions, and it looks exactly the same. And so it's kind of funny like that, but it's still a great story. I'm enjoying playing it, but yeah, that's been Overwatch and Yakuza Kiwami.
So I was just make the joke that you know when you're playing that Overwatch, you should play Mercy.
Mercy, why?
It's a song. Look it up. Just like you should play Mercy. That song will be in your head for the rest of your life.
By who?
I don't. It's a web comedy group. They have a couple songs. One of them about a woman becomes a seamstress and then starts an army. It's really interesting, unpredictable.
I'll have to take a look at it for sure. But we can't talk about what I've been listening to because I've been on a Fear Factory kick, and I am not about to go on and on and on about my history with loving Fear Factory. I'm just going to drop it here since this is game related.
I have not been playing a lot of games this week. I've been checking in Animal Crossing here and there because the update comes out next Friday that allows us to swim in, more quality of life improvements. I've been really trying to kickstart what I want to do with my board game nights. and I really want to play Nemesis. So I went to Board Game Geek and looked up, player aids. Even the player aids for this fucking game are 6 pages long. Like, this is a serious hardcore. Like, it breaks it down like flow charts and shit. So we'll be able to play the game pretty easily. And it gives notes where you need to go to the rule book. But like, I am dying to play this game. I am 100% dying to play this fucking game. I already kickstarted the expansion sequel that takes place on a space station on Mars. So that's not going to go very well. And it comes with 2 different alien races. One of them is like the ones from Pitch Black, and the other one is a fungus that spreads and infects people.
So the flood, the flood, and then the raptors, huh?
Yeah.
Whatever those flying things were called.
So I'm pretty excited.
I was going to go with the Clippers.
Yeah, because the first game came with the base set of intruders, which are very basic. Then the Void Seekers, which are psychic aliens, and then the Carnivores, which I don't have, but I'm going to buy, which are like the Hell Demons.
These all sound like Destiny characters.
Well, true, but they all play differently, so it's different play styles. So Lockdown comes with the fungus characters and the light dark characters that operate differently if the rooms are lit or dark. So cool. I'm really excited. I want to get more into board gaming, but of course, fucking COVID-19 makes everyone stay at home, and because I have such bad asthma, I really can't risk this shit. So I think I'm going to force Phil to play Everdell with me as a 2-player game, just so I can get something. Like I just have to get some fucking board gaming in.
Have you tried Board Game Simulator? Because it's a.
I do, but you have to have the rules for those, and I don't understand the rules for some of the games I want to play, or they're not on there. And I'd rather play with people that I know, just because that's the point of playing board games is you get together with your friends. And I think that's what it is I'm socially lacking. But I did tell Cynic, free up 8 o'clock on Sundays because we will start game streaming. Probably this Sunday if you're free, because I've got the Ethernet cable that I got to wire so my Xbox will be hardwired. Just because I'm trying to rewire things to my house because I know I've got like 80 items on the Wi-Fi. And I have a Wi-Fi net, so it's not really that big of a problem. I have gigabit internet. But every time I check
helps a lot.
Yeah, every time I check the Xbox on how much it's using, it's like using half of what my Google Home speakers uses. I'm like, is that just normal? Like, my Google Home speakers don't use shit. And so if it's using less than that on the Xbox, I don't know.
Hardwiring will help so very much. Every time I have to move the Xbox a little bit around now, and so I always have to make sure that during that when I'm set and near the hardwire that it goes in, because I don't play fighting games and I don't play online games unless I'm hardwiring. I'm that anal about it. It helps tremendously.
My house does not have any data drops in it for wall outlets. So I literally, because the one place is where my board game shelf is. My corner board game shelf. That is where the data connection is. Nothing is on that wall, so I've got to hide it under carpet. So I bought flat Ethernet cables, and I got a carpet that'll go over it so that it'll be hidden so I can get it where it needs to go, because I'm moving the studio to the next room. So I've got a 100-foot cable that's going to go into this computer, so it's always going to be fast.
Yep.
And I got to really wire data over doors and shit because there's no Ethernet drops in my walls.
Yeah, I have a 100-foot cable for my work, so I know exactly what you mean.
The other question is it Cat 6 or Cat 7 now?
Cat 7. I only bought Cat 7 stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how we rewire some things because, like I said, there's an intermittent Saturday morning, so it might not be ready Sunday. I'll let you know. Just depends on how the house goes.
For sure. Well, I'm looking forward to firing things back up on Sunday because we need to finally beat Halo. I mean, we tear through it.
Halo? I don't know what we're talking about here. Explosions?
Yeah, I mean, we were tearing through it right up until we had to protect somebody. So I'm sure now that we're past that, that we'll be fine.
So wait. So you're telling me that Kevin had a problem playing a level where you couldn't kill everything?
No. It was super explosions.
You're opening Pandora's box, all right, Pocky.
Let me point out the guy who has problem with things called plots and like taking his time on things.
It's worse than that, Pocky. The guy we had to save
bad.
Literally had 5 health points when we got to the checkpoint. So we were stuck at this checkpoint with 5 health points and everything exploding around us because everything was
why you wonder why I don't play.
But we did it.
He turned on.
Did that shit.
Yes, because we didn't do it because we turned exploding grunts the fuck off. That's how we finished that. We turned it off because we couldn't make it through this. It was where you have to protect Captain Keys. The second Captain Keys would have any thought of his own, where he would have to stand still for a little bit, and then everything spawns around him. He'd just run up to the nearest thing. It would die and explode, and it was just.
That would go to the vehicle and around the room.
It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. So eventually I told Gavin, turn it off. Just turn the skull off. Turn the exploding grunt skull off because I can't do it. We're not going to get past this. So he turned it off. Maybe 10, 15 minutes later, we finally did. Because Gavin, by the way, still had unlimited ammo, which means unlimited grenades, which means we're still dying by explosions.
To be fair, I didn't know that grenades at first. Just so to be fair, just so you know, I didn't know it included grenades at first, and then when I realized it, I literally just threw grenades everywhere. And for a game of its time, there's a lot of remarkably explosive terrain in that game. So
I absolutely love the explosions of Halo 1. They have my favorite grenade explosions from all the Halo series. The first one does, but my God, did you ruin that shit for me?
All right, so let's get this show.
You wonder why I don't play with you.
We're gonna pass our
because you're allergic to too much fun. Because that was fun.
We're gonna bypass our question of the week because we're trying to keep the show a little shorter today. So we're gonna go ahead and get into the news. Yes, I like explosions. That's not news. Pocky, tell me about this weird ass game conference you watched.
Okay, so
hold on.
There's drama. There's drama already.
Okay, and he puts his hand in his fist because this is the man who loves the world of indie games. And if there's
don't just love indie games. Hold on. I want to clarify this. I just don't love indie games. I also love JRPGs. I love visual novels. I love this stuff.
So when he goes...
Oh, God. Okay, so everything about this press conference should have been Pocky time.
This hype better pay off, man.
And it doesn't happen. So there is only 3 saving graces. Out of a 45-minute press conference, there are only 3 saving graces.
So one every go right ahead.
Here's the thing, though. Over half the trailer reveals are, we're doing a game. Here's a still shot. This game is coming out on Switch and PlayStation 4 and Steam later this year or next year. Bye. Here's another trailer. It is a still shot. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, and then, so we're finally getting some Otome games, and on Steam and whatnot, we're getting some Otome games, which is the female date sim games. And I'm like, yay, we're getting female date sim visual novel games, where that's going to be fun. And so one of them is a bakery run by a girl where demons and angels and secret society show up, and she gets to choose which one she wants to date, and that sounds interesting. It's called Cafe Enchanted, or Enchante Cafe, and that's fine.
Huh.
But the real outstanding games that happened was the creator of Castlevania Symphony of the Night, his new game franchise.
It's the shirt, I guess.
He's got a new kind of thing. He made an 8-bit version of Bloodstained Ritual of the Night called Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. He is making a sequel to that game, which hopefully means we'll eventually get a sequel to Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. So that's going to be good. I mean, that's awesome. We get a sequel to a very, very good game. If you didn't play the first one, I highly recommend you doing so.
Very cool. It was free on Xbox for a while, so
probably, I think so. Yes.
Yeah, for folks who just game collect the free games, you might go in your library and find it because it's fun. It's super fun. Old school 8-bit Castlevania style gaming. It's great.
Yeah. So some of the other things that happened was, this one's good for you, Cynic. Neo Geo is releasing. It made a bunch of announcements for fighting games.
Yeah.
First off is the Samurai Showdown For Honor's crossover, which is going to have the knight from For Honor.
Mhm.
He looks like something a reject from Dark Souls. That put all of his stats into strength. So that's fine. The other thing is they're doing a Samurai Showdown Perfect Collection, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 perfect, which never got released to the United States. It's going to have online multiplayer. It's going to have a whole bunch of stuff. Everyone's hoping that they kind of fix this one. There's going to be a collector's edition which comes with. You ever seen the Neo Geo old cartridges? Like they were like this big.
Yeah.
It's coming with a replica of one of those. So when you buy the game, it actually comes in that case.
That's very cool.
So that was good. I mean, if you're a big Samurai Showdown fan, they're also releasing the Neo Geo Pocket Collection, which is including a bunch of their Neo Geo Pocket Color fighting games. So that's going to be kind of cool.
Very cool.
Other than that, we got a new YS9 game. It's coming out next year. RE02, which is if you're a horror suspense mystery person who wants to do some like dot hack and trying to think of another game where basically like the premise is they were working on an AI for a video game, and that was also a PCB code for the internet, a new code for the net, and it may have gone rogue and may have started a religion on its own, so it can become real.
Huh.
Also, it's a visual novel. Also, takes place in a video game, and it has some really good mechanics. It's kind of hard to find, but it's on Steam, and I think it's less than $20 right now. So go after that. It's called RE0 Death Request. Sorry, no, not our Death and Request. RE Death Request. Yeah.
RE Death and Request.
Yeah. Other than that, Fairy Tail's getting Fighting Crab. Fighting Crab was the other really cool game. And now this is a game where we're all going to play because you are literally real life crabs with weapons. Yes.
I like the sound of this. So what are you armed with? Are you armed with like a shell breaker, you know?
No, sir. You're thinking too mundane. How about a chainsaw? How about a sickle on chains? How about like, I don't know, swords and katanas and halberds and machine guns and rocket fist? Why are you sticking to mundane, sir?
Sounds a little imbalanced. And what do you think is more terrifying to a crab than a shell crusher? I mean, come on now.
Powered rocket drills.
Yeah, but that would render the meat unedible. You know, it just seems like there'd be too many bits. I mean, well, it does sound like a lot of fun. What kind of crabs are we talking here? Are these anthropomorphic crabs? Or are these realistic crabs?
They're photorealistic crabs.
Photorealistic crabs.
Photorealistic crabs and lobsters.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
That does sound fun.
Hold on. What is it called again, Pocky? I'll try to find a picture.
So why did this happen? It sounds like you're having a lot of fun.
Okay, so it's called Fight Crabs. And so you have to understand, I just gave you all the highlights. Everything after that is still shots, one shots, things that are happening. Even like RE0, which like they showed a full trailer. The problem is everything else is just, hi, we're releasing this game and it's coming out. One of them is literally just like, it shows you this underneath this bridge and it zooms in a little bit, but not a lot, like just about that much. Like that's how much it zoomed in. And then it stops. It says escape from Ashura. And you're like, get ready for escape from Ashura. I'm like, okay, I don't know. Is it a post?
It's hiding under the bridge.
Yeah, you're under a bridge. That's okay.
I'm going to try to show this video because
the video itself is very bad. Whoever gave the expo this video didn't like size it or grift it or anything else.
All right, are you ready for this?
It's not Gavin's internet connection, by the way. We normally get to blame Gavin's internet connection. It's not.
All right.
Oh, Lord. Oh, no, that's rather smooth.
Yes, lightsabers.
I want to play this game so bad.
Wow. Thor's hammer, the drills, it's just Fight Crab. Okay.
It literally is just its title.
This is like a fighting version of Goat Simulator, but crabs.
It seems like they're picking up weapons as they go, like the Beast style from Yakuza, where it's just and anything I come towards, I'm picking up, and that's crazy.
Yes, fight crabs, y'all.
So, like I said, unfortunately, everything I just
there's
told
the
you
rocket.
the highlights. But if you watch this honestly 45 minutes video, it's very underwhelming.
So
There's
these
a
are
lot of
kaiju
stuff-
crabs. Okay.
Yeah. So unfortunately, because of that, it's like they showed some visual novels off. They showed like a princess party game where you get to raise a princess and play mini games with her. It's incredibly cute.
So, overall, it was a pretty lame event, you would say.
It was pretty lame, particularly when you're talking about the following companies. You're talking about SNK, ASCII Games, NIC, Atlas, Sega, and like Pseudo 51, and a bunch of the other companies. And you're like, Spike Crop.
Until you get to Fight Crab, which, well, actually, I did notice you're not just kaiju crabs. You're also normal sized crabs. You're also crabs that are slightly larger than normal sized. And then you get to crabs.
We're going to fuck that game up.
Yes.
Yeah. That would be. I
want to be a rocket-propelled lobster every day. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like good stuff.
And that's why you're saying, like,
good.
So that's why when you guys are asking, like, why was this bad? And it's because all the highlights I just gave you were the really good highlights. I saved you 40 minutes of your life.
Okay, well I appreciate that.
Moving on from that one, because we gotta recover from that horrible event. You all, as fun as we may have been excited about Pokemon Snap, I am far more excited for this week's announcement of the Pokemon version of League of Legends.
Oh,
the MOBA game.
Yes.
There better fucking be a Jigglypuff, and we better have a team running. Trust me.
You know there will be. Come
Hold
on.
I have to Google this. I didn't know there was a Pokemon.
Yeah, it's being developed by the same. It's going to be a free-to-play on mobile and Switch with cross-platform. So there'll be microtransactions. I'm okay with it as long as it's a good game. But you play with 5 people as a team, and you're taking over parts of the map, battling each other as Pokemon. So, Cynic, you better damn well be playing this.
I actually never jumped into the MOBA craze, but I do have a lot of friends who MOBA and stream, and so yeah.
If you have a good team to play with that's just having fun, yes.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the mechanics of a MOBA, of course, so I'm sure I'll just be able to jump right in and knock it out. It should be fun.
I will keep people asleep as Jigglypuff. Y'all can beat the shit out of them.
Yeah, that'll work. I mean, you wouldn't have to as Jigglypuff. Haven't she played Smash?
I know, but I love putting people to sleep.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. There was a short list of playable characters, including, I think, Lucario.
It's the staple popular ones that are on there.
Pikachu, Charizard.
Yeah, all the Pokemon. I like that the news story got released on ESPN. That makes me really amused. The problem is I've never been good at MOBA games. I tried my hand at them. They're not really my thing. I'm more of a steady as she goes sort of character player. Maybe if I get
like an MMO gauntlet, like there's lots of people on there, but you have your team. We can go fuck some shit up. Trust me.
Yeah, it could be fun. I'm down for that. I'm down for trying that.
Yeah, Pokemon, you could be Henzar. I could be Jigglypuff. Pocky could be. Who would you be, Pocky?
Scyther.
Yeah.
I love Scyther.
Scyther's awesome.
We could put together a badass team and just wreck it. We could wreck it.
Yeah. That sounds like a lot of fun. I mean, Pocky, if you're the steady as she goes types, definitely sounds like you could be a healer or just like a tank who goes out there and doesn't give a shit if they get hit. Like, all right, guys, come on. I know I'm absorbing all the damage, but let's go, guys. I'm
hoping they don't have
mobile too, which kind of makes me.
Well, because it's cross-platform, so mobile can play with Switch, Switch can play with mobile. So no matter where you're at, you can play with your friends.
Oh, here it is. So the list sits right now is Snorlax, Pikachu, Talonflame, Magchop, Venusaur, Charizard, Blastoise, Clefairy, Gengar, and Lucario.
Yeah. So there's going to end up being more. That's just their starter. And if I have to buy Jigglypuff, I will fucking buy Jigglypuff. I ain't got no problem with that.
No, I will have no problem if they do that. Plus, if you can earn them via just playing. If I don't have to buy Jigglypuff and it's just like, hey, play for a little while, and you do it. And I'm like, well, if
I'm sure they will have some that you have to buy, and I'm sure they'll have some that you could do either or. It just depends because it is free to play, and they have to make money somehow. Otherwise, what do we expect?
The other thing is how well they handle their online. Because right now, to be honest, Nintendo's online mobile presence is it doesn't suck because it's a black hole.
It depends on the game. I'm getting some pretty good matches out of Overwatch. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but it's not user friendly like Xbox is. You have to jump through hoops to play with. Like, how long did it take us to figure out how to play with each other in Smash Brothers? It took like 5-10 minutes.
I'm talking about is their mobile. They're like the Mario Kart online, the Mario Kart mobile game, and the Animal Crossing mobile game where they have a subscription fee, and it doesn't.
Well, here's the thing: they're dropping all that because of the success of Animal Crossing. Because the reason they were pushing for mobile was because they didn't have any real sellers on the Switch.
Yeah.
And then it got popular, and Animal Crossing killed it. So they're like, we're going to pull back on what the fucked upness we're doing in mobile and just kind of let it go, and we're going to focus more on console, which I'm really excited for.
By the way, I didn't tell you, Gavin. Do you know why there are friend codes and not names?
Why?
Because I read this and it got released recently. So apparently Nintendo didn't want to make you sad. So let's say you wanted to be Jigglypuff King 1977, and that name was taken. So it said,
who in their right fucking mind besides me would have Jiggly King 1977? Like, really?
If that name was taken, you'd have to rethink it, and you'd be kind of sad. So Nintendo's entire logic was to prevent people from being sad, was to give you friend codes, which would be more secure.
That's
that
sure.
Was the most Nintendo answer I've ever read.
You can't even make that shit up, dude.
It's very nice. It's a nice thought. That's fine. If only you could add people just a little bit easier, and then connecting.
Actually, it has been a little bit easier when you play with them because they added a friends, people I played with tab under the friend screen.
Yeah.
So you go find people you played with and add them.
You can do that. That's true.
Yeah, they added that because I added a bunch of Austin Animal Crossing because I'm in the Austin Animal Crossing group. I made 1.5 million bells this week on my fucking tournaments because of that group.
Wow. That's
much. I think to be fair, it's
to be fair.
It's going to be Nintendo.
Yeah, it's going to be Nintendo.
So speaking of death and recourse,
okay, I want to talk about Mixer last because I'm really confused by this next item. So I don't know if you saw this week, but this is a real thing. There is now a video game prescription for children with ADHD.
Yeah, under the COVID Enforcement Discretion Act. Okay.
So if your child has ADHD, you can now get him a video game prescription. And I could not figure out what this video game was. So I think I may have found something that will give us an indication of what this game is. So let's see if I haven't really watched it yet, but I kind of queued up where I think it starts.
Yeah,
so
I was
here we
very
go.
curious to see that when you text this to me.
You guys have it? Here we go.
We got it.
However, if you want to get your hands on this particular game to use as a treatment tool, well, you're going to need a prescription from your doctor. The game in question is called Endeavor RX, and it was developed by Boston-based Achille Interactive Labs. Its purpose is to improve attention in kids with
It looks
ADHD
cheap.
through daily gameplay that promotes concentration without it feeling like a chore. And if you're following along at
Okay, first and foremost, what game that makes you feel like a concentration feels like a chore for anybody? Because I'm pretty sure fucking Fortnite is a chore.
Well, okay. I'm going to say this. Anything can feel like a chore. Anything you love can be a chore. What they're saying is it's like the concept of education and entertainment. It's you have to do it in such a way that they don't realize they're doing it.
Well, a lot of education games. This game looks cheap and it looks educational. So let's continue.
home, That's Endeavor RX, meaning Endeavor Prescription. So clearly they had a lot riding on this, even though the game was previously called Project Evo. According to a statement, Achille Interactive Labs
Are there
CEO
any more
Andy Martucci,
game clips? Because
PhD,
I
said,
cannot
"We're
find.
proud to make history today with FDA's
No,
decision
there's-
with
There's a
Endeavor
little.
in literally any multiplayer game, and you'll know what I'm talking about." And while this may be the first video game or digital therapy that was approved by the FDA, it's certainly not
I
going
don't
to be the last,
understand.
especially when it comes to treatments and therapies for cognitive disorders. And honestly, it's about
Okay.
Hmm.
I don't get it, y'all. I don't fucking get it at
We'll
all.
have-
That game, one, looks cheap. It looks like just a
You-
mini game clickbait.
Here's the deal. I think we'd have to play it. Unfortunately, we can't since we don't have a prescription. It could be the greatest game ever made.
Well,
And
it's a prescription strength game, so it better be the greatest game ever made.
So, here's
I was a very ADD kid back in the day. Or maybe I just had energy, and that's what they called kids with charisma. I don't know. If they're going to have it with proper ADHD kids, it better be a lot of games in one. They better be, you better be going down that river and then switching to the trees real fast and then switching to the lava level real fast while switching between characters. It's got to, if it's going to,
that Ratchet and Clank video game they just showed off.
hey, if it's going to cater to the ADHD kids, man, they got to do it right and just give them 1,000 things to do at once. Okay.
So here's the deal. A friend of mine, so they've been trying to experiment with gaming and mental disorders and ADHD for years. In fact, about the last 30. One of the things they did was during the PlayStation era, PlayStation 1 up to PlayStation 2, I believe, they made a device that hooked up to your head. And it was supposed to help you kind of work on your brainwave, like help you focus. Because your brainwaves do something you think. It reads those brainwaves and it actually messes with the controller. And what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to play a racing game. They tell you pick any racing game you want, but you have to play a racing game. It's the best way this works. They say any other game, you may not really like the thing. Now, as you get playing more, maybe you can change your game, such as a platformer. But the idea is, as you accelerate, if you're not focusing and your brain's not doing what it's supposed to be doing, your accelerator will slow down working. So it's supposed to get you to think about while doing another activity to get your brain to focus more. The problem with this thing was it was about $300, and that was about 20 years ago.
Well, okay.
So what they're trying to do is, and I get what they're trying to do is they're trying to introduce that mechanic of making a child work their brain to align it properly without having to spend $300 on a piece of equipment that looks like.
If you think this game is good, it's a prescription game. They're going to charge a crap ton for this thing, like they do for all prescription drugs, and your co-insurance will pay like $20 for it.
Yeah, I'm wondering what the goal, because I'll have to go back and actually watch this video to see what their goal actually is. Is their goal to make sure to align the brain and to actually function as a sort of cure, or is it to kind of work to just keep the kid sane for a little bit to make sure the parents can rest? I'm wondering what the true goal of this thing actually is.
My other thought is with what is the true intention is this is made by the company who makes the drug. And you only get this game if you have the drug. And I would personally speak from experience because I used to have to take these ADHD drugs because I actually have that. And if you've seen me in real life, you know this. Me and Brad could just bounce off things for hours. But with what was I saying? Kind of. Oh yeah.
Yes, the game makes the drug.
The games make the drugs, but at the same time, if it's a main prescription game version of that drug, it's going to be 5 times more expensive than the generic version of that drug. If you want to use the generic version, you don't get the game.
Yeah, I also wonder if they're taking kind of like a non-violence route too.
Here's what I found on their thing. Explore the science and technology behind our digital treatments. Developed through the collaboration of world-renowned cognitive neuroscientists and acclaimed entertainment and technology designers, Achille has created a proprietary technology platform that represents an entirely new category of medicine. Built on extensive peer-reviewed research, Kylie's products are designed to deliver sensory and motor stimuli to selectively target and activate specific cognitive neutral systems in the brain. The proprietary technology is engineered to directly generate psychological changes in the brain to improve cognitive function. So they've developed a video game that triggers things in your brain by, I guess, pushing buttons and speed.
Yes, it's color. It's okay. So there's a lot there. The biggest thing was peer reviewed.
Here we go. Selective Stimulus Management Engine. Prefrontal cortex-based cognitive control via interface processing, which was multitasking. Key functional dependency for attention, working memory, and executive function. Major disorders suffer from inability to process, filter, and respond to completing stimuli. Spatial navigation engine in development, details pending. Effective engine in details. So they're still releasing some of this stuff.
Yeah.
But there's also an old lady playing this game, so it's not just for children.
Well,
No,
I mean, you're not limited. I mean, ADHD is not just a children's thing, and I'll say this much: as much as the conspiratorial part of my brain wants to kick in and say, "Oh, this drug company is making the game, and they're going to do it along with the drug, sell it along with it, or anything like that."
No,
I will say this. I will say this: if there is, if there's any way that this game actually works and does kind of stimulate the parts of the brain that need to be stimulated, I will do that in a heartbeat, because I have a daughter and she's going to be my daughter, which means she's going to have a lot of energy.
My friend.
It's going to be bad. It's going to be really bad. So I hope.
She also is going to try to blow up things in Halo.
I mean, I was kind of part of that generation that got experimented on with a lot of the ADD drugs that they know now are basically speed. So I can't.
They're meth.
If there's going to be any way that I can, mitigate her without having to do all that, that'd be great. It's also going to be a nice experiment to see, if that's even a thing, or if she just has a lot of energy. It's going to be a good look back at childhood. So, if there's an actual disorder and it cures it, I'll use it. That's for sure.
Or at least help mitigate most of it.
At the very least, I'll give it a chance before I call bullshit. We'll put it that way.
I will say this: the fact that it said peer review, I would like to see who the peer is. If it's their own internal company and peer reviewed it, yeah, but by who? Oh, by our guys behind us,
our own peers, right behind us.
Yeah, it's like, no, you're not saying, but it was an independent counsel from the Mayo Clinic or from Harvard or Yale or from any of the other major groups, and then we looked at this and this seems legit. I'm like, okay, because that's the thing about science. If science goes through a peer review and they've done everything, and the fact that they're releasing this in batches probably means those peer reviews aren't completed yet. Mm-hmm. So if they could later on go, no, we found evidence that says this doesn't, then yeah, that's great. That's the biggest thing there, was the fact that they said there is a peer review for this.
Yeah.
Once you find out who that peer belongs to, that's great.
Well, so it'll be interesting to see how this is going to develop.
Sure.
I did not expect to see that.
Me neither.
And so I'm wondering how long it's going to be before other companies start saying they got the same thing. But it's
depending on how the copyright and the medicine and everything else. Medicines can be copywritten and patented.
So the video came from Nerdist that I showed you guys, and the actual site is like AIKILI.com. Just Google FDA approved video game ADD prescription. You'll find it. It's right there.
Find it.
Yeah.
All right. So last story of the night, unexpectedly and really pissed me off. Mixer is dead. I loved Mixer so much more than Twitch. We got a lot of responses from our shows on Mixer more than Twitch.
Yeah.
Which now we're going to have to look at Eli for.
Yeah, I am just to the point where is Microsoft just fucking with us?
So here is. So are you ready? So
ready?
So here it is. What it is. So there's a lot to this story, and I'm going to point out a couple of things along the way. So first off, it turns out apparently the creators and some of the higher ups of Mixer, including some of their major streamer staff and moderators and whatnot, are horrible, horrible human beings that believe that minority groups that play on their systems are slaves and they own them.
Ouch.
In fact, that was really a phrase that was used. They are our slaves and we own them.
See, here's what I don't understand about
Hold
that
on a
part,
minute.
Bobby.
Where do I find that? Because now is a pretty interesting time to be using those kind of terms now.
Exactly.
So,
And
we got to take it seriously now.
I
Yeah.
thought Microsoft bought this off the original owners and set their own team behind it.
They
But
did.
apparently that wasn't the situation.
So no, what they did was Microsoft bought it, then made a team. That team was literally minus one person because I think it was another dude. That was that team. They just went. We built a team. Who was the team? The people that were already sitting right there.
Okay,
So why not just remove them but keep it going? Because the other aspect is they were talking about it didn't have any growth. Well, people like what they like, and Mixers really is tied into Xbox, which has a smaller market share.
Correct.
But it was so much. It was just a better environment. It had so many more nicer features. It was just that
instead of having that
next step in what a streaming service should do, which is what Xbox has been promoting from the get-go. And to be like, pull the plug, let's go to Facebook. That was the worst decision they could have made because no one that's young is on Facebook. They don't like Facebook gaming.
Yeah, the thing is I mean, you still have that instantaneous pop in viewership and usership. Like right away, you just have such a huge base, and it can also kind of be cross-platform. It's not just going to be Microsoft's. I agree with you. Mixer was very cool and it was very user-friendly. It's gonna be sad to see it go.
It technically dies on the 22nd, but I'll tell you right now, including myself,
it's dead now. People have just jumped.
People are just now on Facebook. They're not even. Some of them aren't going to Facebook. They're straight up saying they're not doing Facebook.
Yeah, a lot of people don't because there's a toxic culture at Facebook, and people are not wanting to go over there. So their choice is toxic Twitch or toxic Facebook. What are you going to pick? There's no other option.
They're going to D-Live. Like a bunch of companies are saying, "Come take us in." Like a bunch of companies have removed the restrictions. D-Live has removed it. Trevo has removed it. There's a bunch of these guys that are starting up, and they're saying, "Hey, if you're already a partner and you can prove it, which." Very simple to do. We'll go ahead and remove you have to have this many because we assume you're going to have those followers. At least most of them come over with you. So we'll go ahead and remove that barrier of entry.
Well, I'm hoping D-Live becomes the next place because we do broadcast at D-Live with all of our shows, and it's super nice. It's super simple. I hope that becomes the next place to go because Twitch is such an establishment.
So here's the other thing about this, and this is something I pointed out when I talked about on my stream on the day it happened, on the day it got announced. I did a stream on Persona, but I spent 20 minutes talking about this. There is something we all are not noticing, and this is something you'll realize too. They said they sold it to Facebook. Okay, that sale was fast, and we all know the speed of business.
Yeah.
But that means they had already had this deal in the works. And my thought is, before all this, they went and bought Ninja, and they bought two other major streamers off everybody to make them exclusive. Now, Ninja and those three, Ninja and those other two got paid out. Like, they got their money when Mixer said they were going to die. They got bought out, but they were offered, hey, you're now a free agent, which means they'll go to wherever they want. If Facebook bought this, that means that deal was in the works way before all this, and either someone in the company said, "Hey, let's burn the house down before we have to sell it."
It could have had to do with the COVID issue too. Like things could have just been tanking so hard that they needed to move some money around in order to keep things running.
I don't think it's been as planned as long as we thought. But I think Microsoft started seeing the dots on the wall probably at the beginning of COVID because as the Black Lives Matter movement started rising up, so did the Me Too started coming back because people in the video game industry are now starting to really clap back and say, like, this is the shit that's going on. We need to fix it because there's a lot of social injustices that are happening and their voice is heard now too. So yeah. I think we're like, because here's my favorite one. The Cards Against Humanity creator has now ousted because of his not good workplace. I was like, you dumb motherfuckers. You worked for Cards Against Humanity, which lets you create cards like maybe she's born with it, maybe it's child abuse. And you the toxic environment. Like you knew you were working for someone who was just not really all there. So he should have been gone a long time ago.
Well,
but
the
I
thing
think
is,
they were starting to put pieces together, and we're like, okay, we got to do something. I wish they would have gone with YouTube gaming. I think that would have been a better thing, but that's too much of a rival for xCloud and Stadia. I wish Xbox would have partnered with Google's when they first did that first Stadia announcement. That's what I was hoping was going to happen. That would have been a better fit than going to
so are
Facebook.
you saying megalomaniacal Microsoft team up with megalomaniacal Google? Yeah,
Did you just mention two things that are megalomaniacal without mentioning Facebook? Because
no, I'm just saying, like,
they're above and beyond.
So to me, I think Facebook to them is just like an afterthought. That it's free marketing. They don't have to worry about the shit. They're not giving it to Google.
Yeah.
Because Google, they don't want to give anything to Google.
Well, is anybody actually on YouTube gaming? Like, is it just an afterthought? Like, I'll go here, like we could set it to stream multiple places, but we're gonna focus on Twitch. Like, just go to YouTube. Like, I don't ever look at YouTube gaming.
So I actually, here's the weird thing. So I have it on. So for me, I have the free account. So I only get 3. So mine is Twitch now. You speak Mixer, Twitch, and YouTube. And for me now, it's Twitch, YouTube, and DLive.
What are you using?
I use Restream.
Why don't you just use our paid Restream and add your stuff to it?
I mean, I guess I could.
I'm paying for it. Let's use it.
Well, I asked you one time, and you said not yet.
Let's not fight.
No. You honestly said, "Hold on, let me set everything up," and I just never bothered to ask you again.
Because I've got to get everyone's personal Facebook page on there so they can broadcast to those. But I'm paying for Restream. Let's use it.
All right. So, but the big thing with that is, in that case, I want to use Travo. And that's how we have to go into weird territories with that one. But
that being said, this whole situation is just it did seem rushed. It seemed like it kind of came out of nowhere. And in the I guess in the COVID-19 aftermath time, well, it's not the aftermath in the current whatever state that we're living in.
Coming of COVID now.
It's just it's right now we're just at the middle of it, but things are just kind of crashing, and I think this is just a COVID casualty. It sounds like
it's actually not. The weirdest thing is though, we can't call it a COVID casualty because Twitch, Mixer, and all of them, even YouTube, is reporting huge numbers because everyone's stuck at home, so they're watching streamers or they're streaming.
What I want to know is what Amazon's doing to get those Twitch numbers as high as they are with all the toxicity going on over there. Why Mixer did not go up better is completely baffling to me. A 0.2% growth increase, whereas Twitch has like a 200. There's something not right about those numbers because when you have the major streamers switching over to Mixer and people are going over there to watch it on a much more
user-friendly
platform that's not toxic, something is up. I think Amazon definitely pulled some fucking strings to get Twitch out in front because there's no reason that should have happened.
I can tell you why Twitch's numbers are as big as they are.
Why?
Why?
Because it has nothing to do with gamers. I can watch Shout Factory stream 24/7, which means all of Shout Factory catalog is running 24/7. So I can watch Power Rangers and I can watch
not gaming content that's getting it.
They have Power Rangers. You can watch a Power Rangers channel, which is 24/7 Power Rangers.
Wow.
They have a Bob Ross channel. They have a Food Network channel. Not a Food Network, but they have like old PBS and public broadcasting and Canadian cooking shows. They have Awesome Games Done Quick, Summer Game Quick, those big charity events. They have. Hold on, let me pull up Twitch right now just for a minute.
They're just more established, I guess, and Amazon has the money to put behind it. Microsoft should have.
Also, they also have a tendency to, like, if you are a Twitch Prime member, you get Amazon Prime member, you get Twitch Prime. Which
I get all that stuff for free. I don't use most of it every month.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So if you get free stuff, you get free stuff.
It's mostly like in-game cosmetic packs. There were 6 months of Destiny loot, but it was all stuff people already had. We're on the 6th month. I don't know what's going to be in it, but it's shit we already all had. There was one new item in there I did not have for the past 5 months. So it's not like you're getting free games. It's like you're getting, here's a character to play, or here's some cosmetic stuff. But I get it. It's still free.
Yeah. You also get stuff for like Doom Eternal and shit.
It's usually these weird little indie games. Very rarely is it something super major. I would recognize that. Like I was surprised they did 6 months of Destiny stuff.
So, but I think it's just. I think honestly, it's that you can go and watch, like, there's a Bollywood channel I found out. Like, it just shows nothing but Bollywood movies.
I don't necessarily have anything against Twitch, but you're absolutely right. They are the most established gaming streaming service, period. And the fact that they have branched off into everything else, I'm not surprised if somebody is able to throw some money at them and go, hey, let's make our numbers better. Twitch can do it. What did they sell it for? Like billions of Twitch sold to what company for billion, like $1 billion? What was it?
It was Amazon.
It was Amazon. Okay, yeah. That's. I mean, yeah. Anyway, yeah. That's a lot to have to. That's a lot to have to swallow. We have Dark Sage, who we like GTA. All right. Yeah,
he's saying that was kind of a bad thing for Sony to just reveal Grand Theft Auto 5 as the first game, and that game has been done to death, y'all.
Okay, weirdly, that wasn't a reveal. That was just like, hey, we have Grand Theft Auto 5. Now
but
it's 5.
As the first game to show off for a new console, really, really, he's right. It's been like, come on, let's move on and show different things. So. We'll be talking about that shortly because we have a next month is the upcoming Xbox Series X reveals, the next set.
We can see what the refrigerator looks like.
But we are done with this week's episode. There was just things we really had to talk to. Sorry we were running late because, like I said, we did do a special episode before this. I hope you guys enjoyed. Everyone really we had so many people watching everywhere.
We didn't even get to WB being sold, which is
shit! I forgot about that. So we have about 4 minutes.
We'll get to that. Yeah,
we'll get to that one next time.
We'll get to that later.
Because I'm trying to keep it at a certain time now because I want to put us back on TV, but we have to fit within a certain time frame. So we need to be done by 58 each time. So yeah,
we're just about there. The bottom line is NetherRealm is part of this, which is me. Who knows what's going to happen to the guest characters for all the Mortal Kombat, all the WB owned content for Mortal Kombat guest characters. Yeah, we'll have to see how that goes in the future. I'm banking on Universal.
I'm just imagining the Arrowverse now NetherRealm's fighting game.
Arrowverse?
Yeah, so you have Arrow, Flash, Supergirl.
Yes. That would be a very cool crossover. I'm sure they have some Injustice skins for it. Gavin,
okay.
You got anything else for us?
No. So we're done with this episode. Don't go anywhere, Pocky. Do you have OBS up on your system?
Not yet.
Can you open up?
Yes, but when we're done, I'll pull it up. I can't pull it up because the camera.
Yeah, I want to test something before we go, but that's it. We'll be back next week. Don't forget, Saturday may or may not be a premiere of a new show, the Shadowcast. Sunday, we hopefully will be streaming. If not, it will definitely be next Sunday. I got to get my cord set up. But Mondays is
this Sunday you have a very special Pride event.
This Sunday at 2, we have a special live Pride show where we're bringing in some awesome guests to talk about the state of Pride. And there will be some heavy issues talked about. I'm just warning you guys now. Because they need to be talked about. There needs to be discussion about things that the greater people need to have an understanding of.
Yeah, we try not to get into all that here, but I mean it's unignorable. Yes, exactly.
So that's it. We'll see you guys next week, same time, same place. And we're really gonna kind of up this show's factor some. So thank you guys for watching and just keep with us as we're really transitioning to get used to do this from home because I love doing this from home. It's so much easier every week than have to drag the entire crew to the studio. And
I'm hitting end.
All right, so we're done. Bye.
Bye.